Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome this week's episode of Talks with TVBOO. Welcome this week's episode of the podcast. Hope you're all having a great week, and I appreciate y'all being here, man. I really do. Got a great guest for you today, one of my favorite people on this planet. Before I introduce this guest, got to say, April the 13th, I will be in Buffalo, New York at Town Ballroom. Actually bringing our guest today to play the show with me as well. So you can get your tickets at TVBOOmusic.com. Can't wait to be in Buffalo. It's going to be a good time. But enough of all that, dude. My guest today, like I said earlier, one of my favorite people in this world, man. I didn't know him a whole lot. You know, this is our second time doing a podcast. I didn't know him a whole lot in our first podcast. And then he went on tour with me. And, you know, he's become one of my closest friends. And we have some deep fucking conversations, man, all the time. Every time I'm with him. Because we're complete opposites, me and this guy. You know, but we get along just amazingly. And just, we're like the yin and yang to each other. Two totally different backgrounds, but just the best of friends, dude. One of the best producers out there, one of the best teachers out there, and a guy who's fucking killing it right now, and I'm very proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, returning back to the show, Ahee.
Come here, girl, 'cause that ass fat. Let me take my tongue and go bang a dirt track. I met a girl and her booty tastes like strawberries. I swear to God, this could be the one that I marry. Hey, hey, and she's so different. I may eat that from behind. I met a girl and her booty tastes like strawberries.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome back, dude.
Thank you.
I was literally looking right when you ran upstairs. It's almost 2 years ago since we did the last one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, April 4th, 2022. Today is March the 7th. I don't know when this episode might come out. It might come out exactly 2 years.
Well, perfect timing. I'm going off on my own tour now.
Yeah.
Last time we were doing your tour.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's good timing. And today's my big first ever headline in Denver.
Fuck yeah, man. You excited?
Yeah, so excited. Y'all should go back in time and buy tickets.
It's coming soon, man.
Oh man, yeah, I'm so excited. I've spent like this whole last week just like I've never spent this much time on a set. Also, like I finally got a dedicated VJ for it, and like we're just going through every scene, and it's just I feel like an artist now after all these years.
Yeah, fucking so many years, dude. You've had a whole lifetime of different type of artistries.
Yeah, I know. After I've been doing music since I knew I wanted to do music since I was 6.
Yeah, you're like 36 now, huh?
Yes, yeah. Took me a second there.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, you and we ain't been able to get away from each other since tour.
I know,
which is
right?
beautiful because you're literally one of my favorite people in this world.
Oh my goodness! Like our moments together, like literally bring so much joy to my life.
Yeah.
And like it's so funny because like I feel like we're the unexpected pair.
We're like complete opposites of each other.
Yeah.
But like it works so well.
It's magical.
Especially like in just random conversations.
Yeah.
Because we'll have like different perspectives on it, but we'll both end up trying to make a joke out of it.
Yeah. And also like it's like I don't know, it's fun. Just every time we hang out, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good times. Yeah, that we can explore some like cool ass ideas.
Yeah.
But then like make jokes about the ideas too.
Yeah, you'll be telling me some fucking wild stories. Yeah. I mean, because we did Blue Collar Bass, and then as soon as that was over, we went on tour. We did some shows with Big Gigantic.
Yep.
And when we did some shows the other weekend with Liquid Stranger.
Wild.
And then we're doing a show together in Buffalo. Dude, our lives are we're just soul sisters at this point.
We're like a human centipede.
Yeah. I want the, what do I want? I kind of want the middle.
You want the middle?
Yeah, you eating ass and you getting ass ate.
Well, it's just the two of us.
Well, we're going to add Kyle in somehow.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
See who else we can drag in.
I don't know, man. So, yeah, your tour, is this the first official stop of the tour?
Of the headline tour, yeah. This is the first one.
Fuck yeah.
The biggest one. This is the first one.
Yeah, dude, no pressure or anything.
I know, right? Well, we're doing really good in the pre-sales, like amazing. So, I'm really looking forward to tonight.
Hell yeah, man. It's not like an album or anything, or
Well, it's just kind of like the songs that went viral. You know, for so many years, it's like the process where you make music and then you promote it and then you're like, I hope people like it. And now I've kind of doing the opposite of that, where I just make so much music and I just put out clips of it online, and then some of them go viral, and then I'm like, okay, we'll release those songs, and then because we know those will do good. And then they do really well. And then basically this whole tour popped up around the success and virality of the Brain Tickler song and the Rainbow Funk song.
It's kind of like a comedian's approach in a sense. So like a lot of comics, they will film their sets and they post just like the crowd work.
I love those clips online.
Some of those hit, some they don't, you know, but some of them will go viral, or it's just like funny crowd work. Yeah. And like, they're not having to like release like all of their jokes. It's just the ones that like it's just crowd work, and so they're just posting more content.
Yeah, I discover so many comedians that way. So like, in a way, like by observing my own internal way I digest media, I just sort of like just based my strategy around what I actually respond to, like in other, not just music, but like comedy and whatnot. I mean, I kind of knew about this concept like for the last 5 years, but it kind of took me a while to actually implement it in a way that was like authentic to me, and not just me trying to, I don't know. I just feel like what I'm doing now is like, it's very much me.
Starting to click.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it takes a minute to figure out how to like how to be yourself, but like it takes a second to like, I don't know, share that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it takes me a moment to figure out how to be myself in front of other people.
Yeah, to share that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're so fucking skilled, you could make a damn like clip every day.
What do you mean, like clip?
Like a song, like a clip of a song.
Oh yeah, but I could make multiple, but I don't post all of them because most of my songs are terrible.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. They all suck until that one's like, all right, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It takes me, I don't know, it's been taking me longer and longer to finish shit. I guess it's just because I'm becoming so damn picky.
Yeah. Well, that's also the thing is like, I've probably produced over 100 albums by now. And so like at earlier points in my career, I'm just like releasing. And then now I'm like refining, like choose the very best one. Let me actually figure out what kind of effort I put in will produce the largest result. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I mean, you're just so knowledgeable. So many people look towards you now for knowledge.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, it's crazy. I feel so embarrassed. I missed a message from HeadX from 2020. I just like messaged him yesterday because I was like, do you know HeadX? He's the drum and bass producer from the UK. He's been on tour with Subtronics on his Tesseract tour.
Okay, I bet.
And yeah, tons of bangers. You've definitely heard them.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Martin, I believe, plays one out.
Bet.
My Home is the Rave. Also called Semi-Automatic, blah, blah, blah. Semi-automatic.
Yeah. I know that one for sure.
Yeah. And like, he's got a message in there from like 4 years ago being like, hey, we love your production channel and like, we want to work with you on this thing. And I'm just like, now I see it. I like totally missed it. I'm like, HeadX, if you want to reach out, I'm so down. I've been a fan for longer than 4 years. I've been a fan for like 8 years of his.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And so it's interesting going out into the world and seeing its impact. What I'm kind of like, of like what I put out there in the tutorial world. And just everywhere I go, like I get people saying, you changed my life. And I truly, I understand that I don't understand my impact.
I guess that's better than being like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you changed my life. Shit, I know. Shit like that.
Well, it's because it's like, they may say that, but I don't know what that means in their life. Like that could be so profound. Like that, I just
it's very vague.
Yeah. You know, like, because also it's like writing music is such a personal experience, you know, like when you're in the zone and like in a flow state where you're just like not thinking, you're just like creating, like that's therapeutic,
Yeah.
you know?
You get to zone everything out. You ain't thinking about no bills.
Yeah.
You ain't thinking about like if the New Orleans Saints are going to keep Derek Carr or anything like
Is that
that.
what you're thinking about?
Oh, dude, all the time. But like, you know, you ain't thinking about none of that shit, dude.
Yeah.
You and your old lady are fighting. You're like, yeah, dude, let me forget about her.
You know, it can be escapism, but it can also be, you know, a therapy, and also just, I just feel so good to just let something flow through you.
Mm-hmm.
There's something very satisfactory about that. I consider it a spiritual thing, but I don't really know how to put it into words other than, you know, you got to experience the flow state and you'll see why.
Yeah, it also can be like whenever you become obsessed with it, it can become like problematic at times. There's definitely a time where I would like blow everybody off and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did at that time, but I'm not like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fucking chill.
Yeah.
I'll go play some PlayStation, go play some DayZ.
It is kind of like a drug, you know, where it's like it can ruin your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you're sucking dick to fucking to get that
give
that
me
new
that that premium splice subscription.
Yeah, let me get that fucking new Ahee Magic Racks pack.
Oh man, yeah, I'm about to finish up a volume 6.
Didn't you just send me volume 7? What the fuck?
No, I sent you volume 6.
Okay, word.
Yeah. Volume 7. That's next year. That's going to be on Ableton 12.
Have you fucked with it yet?
I got the. I'm on the what's it called, the pre-release.
Like the beta?
Yeah, the beta.
Yeah.
But I've been so focused on the show that like I haven't gotten to explore it as much. I do know that there's a lot of new MIDI stuff.
Hell
There's
yeah.
a whole new infrastructure regarding MIDI in there. It's really, really interesting.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about that off camera. I don't think people like that who listen give a shit to that.
Yeah. But, you know, I am, for the producers out there, I'm releasing a new thing, and I think it's the best thing I've ever made.
Oh, you sent it to me. It's fucking
Yeah, this instant space creator.
I use it on every single song now.
It's so crazy.
I use it every
how
song.
good
Yeah.
it works. It blows my mind. But no one wants to hear about that. You want to hear the story about how I lived with an assassin?
Yeah, before we get into that, you're talking about people fucking hollering at you. And when I was with you last week, fucking Dylan Francis was hollering at you, dude.
Yeah, he was asking about my ambient music, of all things.
It's just so wild.
I'm just like, oh my God, I'm such a fan of Dylan, but like him being like, what's that ambient song you posted? I love it, you know? And I was like, I can't wait to check it out. I'm just like, of course our interaction would be something hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I love that, you know?
Yeah. I do want to hear the story about the assassin, but I want to keep going on what you said. You were like, you know, I was posting a clip, like just a clip almost every day.
Mhm.
I mean, because you told me, and I even saw you post about it on Twitter yesterday. I was like, cool, he's comfortable talking about this shit.
Yeah.
You told me that you think we're moving out of the realm of the producer into the realm of a creator or
Curator.
like curator.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whenever you and I talked about it in private,
Mhm.
we're like, yeah.
Mhm.
But I saw you tweet. I was like, I don't know if that was just a private conversation between us, but then I saw you tweet about it. I was like, sick. We can talk about that.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel like, you know, as someone that has written like 100+ albums of music, I'm really into original content. But I noticed, like, with my career, at least for live music, you know, when I was able to curate a set that like brought people in from what's familiar into unexpected newness, that's when I noticed like the really big reactions, you know? And like, I feel like, you know, we're seeing a lot of artists nowadays where they're not necessarily like making a bunch of original music or releasing a bunch of original music, but are like doing edits or doing remixes, and people are more interested in, you know, how it makes them feel rather than the self-expression of the artist or whatever. You know, they're looking for an experience that causes some reaction to them, and having familiarity is such a you can hook in multiple emotions that way.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if it's good or bad for art. You know, I'm just observing that that's kind of where we're at, you know, where, you know, you're seeing the success, just like massive success of artists that, you know, are not like a lot of people aren't listening to their original music, but are enjoying their live show so much, you know, that it makes it totally legit.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Like, you see artists where it's like, they don't have like a bunch of streams, but they're fucking selling out the shows because everybody knows it's going to be a good time.
Exactly.
Which is great. It's a damn, and in a weird way, it's made a complete 180, right? Because you remember like the festival trap era. So it was like RL Grime, like remixing like Mercy, and then like you had Flosstradamus remixing like Original Dawn. It was something familiar, and it was like a new. I remember like that's what sucked me in was like those remixes. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? And then it moved to like, you know, who's got the best tunes. And I kind of agree with you. It's kind of moving back the other way where it's like, let me, I don't know, maybe, what do you think it is? Do you think people are becoming less?
There's too much stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say maybe like less like exploratory.
No, it's just the internet. There's too much stuff. People like, you know, when you're confronted with so much newness, like that sucks because there's greatness out there, but there's also so much mediocre stuff. And that's just, you have to be mediocre before you can reach greatness. You know, it's part of the process. I've made so much worse, bad than mediocre music. So that's not a knock on anyone making mediocre music. That's just, you have to go through that process. And now with so much of it, because everyone's trying to share everything and, you know, reach to the top or whatever, it's just, I think people are just looking for, like I said, the things that actually create a reaction.
Yeah, but whenever you have that, do you think people stop reaching for greatness and instead reach for things they know will work?
I think that greatness is... what is greatness in our definition here, you know?
When I think of greatness, I think of like, I always go back to sports, I feel like, you know, like Michael Jordan, Drew Brees, you know what I'm saying? Like things like that.
Yeah, but those are kind of objective things rather than the subjective thing of art, you know, like who can make the biggest scores.
It's actually pretty subjective because they'll have the arguments all day about who's the greatest basketball player, and they're like LeBron or Jordan, and then they don't even add Drew Brees to the conversation. It's just always Tom Brady. When it's like, dude, he's the most accurate quarterback of all fucking time. Everybody can suck my cock. But you know, but yeah, I mean, music's definitely, yeah. What is greatness? What is greatness?
And I think because it's a subjective experience, you know, maybe greatness is how can I combine these two things? Like, remember Girl Talk?
Yeah. Oh wait, was that like the mashups?
Bro,
I saw Girl Talk.
Greatness.
Yeah, I saw Girl Talk at summer camp last year.
Yeah.
And it was my first time seeing it. Yeah. I was like, this is the best time. Curator.
Yeah.
Not a I don't know if that person produces, but it's just but it was a fucking I'd heard about it, never seen it. And I was like, this is like the most fucking fun thing. It was like Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA with like the most ridiculously like heavy fucking trap beat. I was like, this is amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then also other form of greatness, Queen. To me, Queen, one of the greatest musician bands, rock bands of all time.
And without Queen, I don't think we would have got Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Like that album is like an emo Queen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Without one, you don't get the other.
Just like, I don't know, just the Wembley Stadium like video of Queen is in my top 5 musical moments in history. That and then Metallica in Russia.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. There's a Leonard Skinner. I think they were opening up for the Rolling Stones, or it might have been at Woodstock, maybe. I could be wrong. I think it's the Rolling Stones where they're opening up. And it's, dude, Leonard Skinner, best Southern rock band of all time. Anyway, there's like a catwalk. And I think it was the Rolling Stones were like, you guys can play. We want to have you in the show. You just can't use the catwalk. And they're like, this is rock and roll, baby.
They said don't use something.
Yeah, and then this is rock and roll, dude. It's rock and roll. They're going to go out there. They're doing solos. They're all over that shit, and they stole the show.
Yeah.
And you watch it, and you're like seeing these fucking hippies out there fucking headbanging and like dancing and getting wild. It's just a different time, but that music, you know, even though it was a different time, still shines today.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, you know, all these are different forms of greatness.
Yeah.
And they're subjective, you know. And so today, I think also with there being so much media, it's so easy to draw on other forms of greatness and combine them together, you know. And what I'm doing with my sets is I'm grabbing, you know, songs that I love, and then combining them with other things that are the sounds of EDM that I love, you know, but people aren't going to be as familiar with those things. And so it's the juxtaposition of familiar to unfamiliar, but wild, that is just, that's where my interest is focused right now.
Whenever you say like it's, you know, there's too much out there on the internet, at what point is somebody doing too much? Because I remember you told me you were like, you post every day for like 3 months and it grew your shit like exponentially.
Yeah, and now it's like I gotta pace, because like I noticed that when one of my things was going super viral, it like hurt my reach.
Really?
Yeah, because it was like too busy having that thing go viral that, like, you know, my other posts, you know, weren't reacting.
So basically, whenever something's popping off, you just fucking.
I just like, okay, just like, yeah, let it run its course, you know.
Yeah.
Like I did this one about the birds and the whales.
Yeah, that shit was so silly.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness, the reactions I got from that, like, I love all the ones where people are like, we're all one, you know, and like where like they're like, oh look, there's the interconnectedness of all things. That's kind of like the perspective I come from. But then there's other people on there. They're like, this is totally not interesting at all for these reasons. Jeez.
Dude, some people got their assholes so tight, dude.
I'm just like, or other people being like, it's called vocal cords, bro. He needs to learn. Stop smoking the reefer.
Yeah.
You know, and, it's just when you open yourself up to the world, man. Like the world is just full of things you never thought you'd think.
Yeah, and it's so ridiculous. Like, you know, you put all these hours into writing like these songs that mean something to you, and then you post a video about fucking whales, and you're just being silly, and then that just overshadows everything you've ever done. You're like, what the fuck is going on? I posted like this stupid video of me like drinking Coke out of a bottle, and it was just pretending like I was doing cocaine out of a bottle. I think I got like 5 million views.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
I think that there's some weird shit going behind the scenes of like pushing
Dumb shit to make us dumber?
Yeah.
Is it China?
I think it's probably a lot of different things, you know, also because dumb shit's kind of interesting.
Dumb shit is funny. I got you, Kyle. I mean, dumb shit. Oh, hold on, let me get back on the mic. Dumb shit is my favorite type of shit. You know, shit that kind of, you know, in a sense, music's dumb. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes you like forget about everything. That's like my favorite part about it is like, you know, whenever something's just like silly, dumb, or fun, you know, it takes you out of like whatever fucking you're dealing
comedy.
with. Yeah,
know?
comedy. Yeah.
You know, it's like that's another form of like you lose yourself in a moment where you're focused on something else.
Yeah, dumb fun.
Yeah, and that's like there's levity to that.
Yeah, dude, turn your fucking phone off, you unprofessional.
Oh, dude, this is a guy that is going to be at the Texas Eclipse Festival that helped build satellites.
That actually is kind of cool. I was like going to talk shit, but I was like, all right. It's good
This guy, Bruce Dahmer, he's like one of the headliners of like the
Is he kin to
speakers.
Jeffrey?
No, I don't think so. No, he's like
It'd be much cooler if he was. I'm not saying what Jeffrey did was cool, but it'd be like, yeah, that's my my cousin.
Dr. Bruce Dahmer. He's from Santa Cruz. I met him at festivals like years ago when I was just like a dirty hippie wook, you know, going to him.
You're still a dirty hippie wook, dude. And that's why I love you.
Thank you.
Underneath, dude.
Yeah.
How often do you have to wash that? Like every time I see you, you're wearing
I wash it every week.
the same hoodie, and I see you switch up the hat, but you always got the orange bags.
Yep. Yeah, the green danglies.
Yeah, my sister was like, Tuna, why does he wear those?
Tuna.
Because she calls you Tuna.
I love it.
My sister, I love Tuna.
Yeah. I love your sister.
Yeah, she's a sweet lady, dude. She's actually coming into town on Monday.
Oh, okay.
She's on spring break. She's gonna come spend it here in Colorado. I'm gonna take her snowboarding.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should be a good time. But yeah, before we get into the assassin shit, because that's fun. But I feel like we got to keep people waiting.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get into something that I know we can go into.
All right. Let's get into it.
So what's up with the dude? We were getting so much information about these aliens at one point. We were getting so much fucking information.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, it was like David Gresh or something like that, like
Yep.
leaked. He was apparently like high up ranking official in like the Air Force or whatever. But
he had a secret clearance, and he never had any alien experiences, but he basically categorized and collected all of them from reputable sources within the military and put together a dossier of sorts, and has been working with various Congress members to basically allow Congress to be aware that there is a large budget that they have no control over,
yeah, they're like, where'd all the money go?
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, they're like, okay, if aliens don't exist, why is there so much money going into programs to observe them?
Mm-hmm. Do you believe this David Gresh guy?
I would say that I believe his sources.
Right. I don't know why somebody would like ruin their whole reputation and like their safety to lie about something like that. And also whenever you have such a decorated past.
That and also the response to him is, I think, more telling than his stories.
What do you mean, like the response? Like what they did? Like them like trying to
Throw him under the bus?
Yeah, trying to make him look like he's crazy, has PTSD, all that shit.
Yeah.
Same thing they did with like Bob Lazar.
Yeah, and I think it's, it's a reoccurring pattern, and, I think we're basically in an era where we're seeing a battle for control between the old system and the new system, where, basically since what was his name? Who was the general that won us World War II, and was Eisenhower? Yeah. So basically, he warned the American public about the military-industrial complex that was forming after World War II, and he was saying, hey, basically in the future, our own elected officials will not have control over the budgets of these things, and they're going to go out of the control of the American people and into the control of a few private military industries.
Oh, we're seeing that already, man.
And it's very obvious at this point, but also, Congress is still its own thing and kind of separate from that. And like, there's a portion of Congress members, like the guy from Tennessee, I forgot his name, one of the Congress members from Tennessee, and then there's a couple of other of them in there as well, and they also put together some congressional thing, and basically they're like, okay, this thing exists. We need to control the money if this thing exists, because
Tim
we're
Burchett?
that's his. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, my boy Tim.
Shout out Tim.
Yeah, shut up, my homie.
Yeah. And yeah, all of us, we're just kind of living through it.
Yeah, dude, it is crazy. Like what Eisenhower said, like we're literally already in that time where it's just like we have no control over like any type of, we're paying taxes for what? For wars that we're like have no business being a part of. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we got so much shit we need to fix here: roads, fucking borders, fucking homeless. Like it's just like, I'm not saying like don't help people. I'm just saying, man, like like it seems like we just don't have a voice anymore. It's weird.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear now on both sides of the aisle that our system is more interested in continuing wars for profit than actually helping anybody. And in the process, a lot of people are yelling at each other and blaming, teams and sides.
Yeah, the left or the right.
And at this point, it's like, yeah, here's us yelling in the peanut gallery, but over here, everyone's like got all the money, doing all the things. They're like, yeah, keep yelling at each other. It's not bad for business,
Yeah. Yeah, you want to get people, keep them distracted with hating each other. So
Yeah.
they don't notice what we're doing.
Very, very, very much so.
Yeah.
And it what do we do about it? I don't have an answer.
What can we do?
I don't have an answer for that, but I will say that one thing that I thought was really interesting. Have you ever heard of Michael Malice? Famous anarchist and just like shit poster. He's a good follow. He wrote a book that I listened to called The White Pill, and it's a book about hope amongst power. And it's basically the most brutal book I've ever read. Like the whole thing is just like the brutality of the Soviet state against its own people. And it's just recountings of all these atrocities. But then in the end, its power crumbles itself. Like its own, its own.
Is it one of these?
Yeah, the white pill on the left there. Yeah, that's it. And so basically, it was the system trying to get rid of all of its competitors, political competitors, that actually became its own demise. And so it was its own lust for power that became that government regime's demise.
Damn, is that what's going to happen in the United States?
I don't know, but
hope not, dude.
but the point of the white pill was that all this horrible stuff is happening, but that it's not sustainable.
Yeah, man. I mean, just us, not even talking about like the power crumbling, just like everybody at each other's throats all the time.
Yeah, I
Isn't
think that's
sustainable.
also. I also think that's more of an internet thing because, man, when I talk with people in real life,
It's all fine.
it's so good.
Bro, I have disagreements with people all the time.
Yeah,
And that doesn't mean I have to hate this person or argue with this person. We'll disagree about something, then fucking have a beer and fucking agree about something else. It's just like people come from different walks of life. People have different views on things, different opinions. I mean, we're able to have our own opinions, and it's just like on the internet, it seems like that ain't a thing. When you talk to people in real life, it's just like we're all just fucking people going through our own shit.
yeah. Well, also, you actually, when you're with somebody, you actually see the humanity in their eyes.
Right.
Yeah, and then online, people be like, "This is uninteresting because of this list of reasons of why your birds and whales suck."
And then someone else is commenting about how they need to shut up and get a life. And
yeah, and then it's just like, that's not real life, but we're I guess we're like 3 generations or so deep into just like having so much of our life on the internet.
How long until like it's all there? Like part of our life is on the internet right now, but like, man, how long until it's just like we are the internet?
I mean, I could see, which book was it? Was it Brave?
Dude, this conversation, people would have thought I fucking got high today, but this is just, you and I just
This
go
is
deep.
what happens when we
Yeah, this is literally it, dude. We just we go deep like this and just the darkest and sometimes scariest things, but also very intriguing.
Yeah, I think what is it? Brave New World? Is that the book where there's like a group of? It's like there's kind of 2 different societies simultaneously, where there's like the wild people and then
That's Star Wars, dude. Got the rebels and the Empire.
Yeah,
And what's actually crazy, I watched this video the other day, and it was like the Empire was right. They were doing some fucked up shit, but like shit was in order, and a lot of people were like had jobs and shit. It's when the Empire fell was like wild shit after, man. Complete anarchy.
Yeah, there was no order anymore.
I'm sure I could come up with a reasonable excuse for all sorts of ridiculousness.
What?
What?
Like, I think that it's easy to come up with logical conclusions for terrible acts.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every villain. Not every villain thinks as a villain. You know, like Thanos.
Is this the book you were talking about here?
Brave New World? Yeah, that's the book.
And what's it about?
I'm trying to remember if this is what that book is about, where basically there's two different societies. I haven't read it in a long time.
Futuristic society called the World State that revolves around science and efficiency.
Yes.
In this society, emotions and individuality are conditioned out of children at a young age, and there are no lasting relationships because everyone belongs to everyone else.
Yeah.
Damn, is that like that South Park episode where where Cartman goes to the future to get his Nintendo Wii? And
No, I missed that episode.
They're like the two agnostics.
They're fighting over the name.
Huh? Agnostic?
No, I'm just thinking of egg people now.
Egg people. Fuck.
like religious eggs. Like they have to wear like an egg suit, and that's like their
God
pope.
damn it. Kyle, we're going to have to use that question for him now, just because he brought that up.
All right.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. You'll find out soon.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But okay. Yeah, it's literally a South Park episode. That might have been where they got it from. I wouldn't doubt it.
Man, now I'm just my brain is just full of egg popes now.
Egg popes. It's just the pope as an egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Humpty Dumpty, but with like gold, crown jewels and like
Just
some
hard boiled as fuck.
hard boiled as fuck with some like wrinkly mouth.
Damn, bro. That's awesome. But
I just imagine, like, I don't know, when I just sometimes I'll see a whole entire vision all at once. Like I had this vision for a visual for your show. Like if we do Spaceboat collab, I imagined a visual for your show where you're just being probed by an alien. You're like bent over its knee.
oh fuck. That's awesome, dude. I love it. I love that you're damn, dude.
Hard in the paint.
Yeah, hard in my ass from this alien.
Wouldn't that be an amazing visual?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely be like one of the best visuals ever.
Of all time, like, that just itself would go viral.
Yeah. Me getting like aggressively probed.
Yeah, brand our
Put the alien with your orange bags.
No.
No. You keep calling them orange, and I'm concerned if you're colorblind or not.
No, they're
they're literally orange bag. They are technically green, and they are bags, but they're meant for oranges.
yeah, you fucking
Orange.
And so everyone's like, "Oh my god, where'd you get those? They're so cute." I get.
I'm sorry.
They're so cute, like often. And to me, they represent my two best friends that are no longer with us. And so to me, they're like spirit danglies. I like to put spiritual significance into boring, ordinary things.
That's what makes you beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. But going back to my original question, dude, I felt like we were getting so much shit with the aliens, and then it's been silent.
That's the nature of news,
You think they're getting us prepared little by little?
There was that Super Bowl commercial.
Yes, the Super Bowl commercial.
I missed
Kyle, I remember this. Were you here for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I was here.
Okay.
What was it?
Kyle?
Yeah, I'll look it up right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember it off the top of your head, the thing? They were just getting it was just like breaking news or something, whatever.
It was breaking news.
Like on the news, maybe. It was just presenting like
There's I'll just pull it up. It's called Hello Down There. It was made by, directed by Martin Scorsese. Here,
Wait, it was directed by Martin Scorsese. The ad?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's just something to sign you up for Liberty Bibbity.
Disconnected it again.
The car insurance?
Yeah, I'm fucking around.
Was it? I don't think it. Here it is right here.
He'll get it for us.
Show me the
Is this-
aliens.
Is it not?
Nah, I ain't got
Oh,
nothing,
shit.
brother.
We're looking at the iPad.
While he get that figured out, dude, do you want to see it in your lifetime?
Aliens?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like breaking news, we have made contact, like that type of shit.
I don't think that's how it's gonna happen.
Really?
No, because I don't think it will ever be on the news.
But like it's just like a motherfucker floating. Like we see it, everyone's like that, and it ain't on the news.
It's not going to ever be on the news unless it fits a story that needs to be told. It's not
A narrative.
Like, yeah, or you might see independent people talking about it on the internet, which we're already seeing.
Yeah, and they call those people kooks.
Yeah, and I think it's just you're going to see just the growth of kooks.
They are growing.
Yeah, because it's like,
Wait, watch this real quick.
all right, little kid with glasses, flying saucer, bad footage, old person. That funny alien.
And that's like the real video right
that's
there.
That's the real video.
Yeah.
Also, when I first saw those the aliens from Mexico, I thought they were made of cake.
Is it cake?
But now
It's that TV show.
But now I'm actually I looked a bit more into it, and it's kind of interesting because supposedly there are multiple races of aliens, like small grays and tall grays,
Right.
and basically like they perform different functions, and it's almost like they're less individual, and they're almost like they're almost like gardeners, like programmed gardeners.
Well, my thing is, they ain't got no damn eyebrows or nothing.
No, they got like, when I read into it, they got like a slit for a mouth and like 2 slits for a nose, and basically their lungs and stomach are not connected like ours. Like their nose goes directly to their lungs, and then their mouth slit goes directly to a digestive tract that they don't have a stomach. They don't eat food. They absorb enzymes, and then the enzymes, they don't have a butthole. Breaking news: aliens don't have a butthole.
It's bullshit.
But then they excrete it through their skin, and then they wear this suit, and that's why when the suit is cut in a lot of the alien stories, they say that the aliens smell awful because they smell like their feces.
Yeah, I remember the story from like Virginia or something like that, and it's a documentary. It's called First Contact or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, something like that. And they were talking about the aliens on there, and it was like it was a crash, and one of the soldiers, he's 21 years old, I think, ended up picking up this alien and taking it to the hospital.
That's in Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
Yeah.
It's like Virginia, Brazil.
Yep.
And he was completely healthy, 21-year-old, dies days later. Doctors don't know why.
Yeah.
And it was just like crazy.
Yeah, that story is really
nuts.
interesting.
It's really fucking nuts.
Yeah, and what's interesting is just so what I've been really enjoying ChatGPT. What I've been doing is taking different whistleblower accounts of aliens and then importing them into ChatGPT and then comparing similarities and differences across all these different reports, just for my own enjoyment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, one thing that's wild, they might be like a genderless species if they are a thing, but like, which kind of sucks because like all the pictures and drawings of these aliens, no titties.
None.
0 tits. I want to see alien titties. I want to see like octotit, you know what I'm saying? Like a bunch of them.
That what's that movie with the opera singer, Alien, The Fifth Element?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Isn't there an alien with a bunch of boobs in that?
Yeah, like why aren't like aliens just like the sexiest thing we've ever seen? Like that'd be cool. Like they just like show up, but like they thick, boy.
Maybe some of them are, because there's the gray aliens, but there's supposedly other human-esque aliens like the Nordic and the Pleiadians and the Orion, or no, they're more like reptilian things. I don't know. There's all sorts of stories.
Lizard
I've read,
people.
And I
Big
don't,
Mike might be an alien.
I don't know what to. I don't know what is the definitive truth, but I like kind of like observing a lot of stuff and then just letting it sit there without making judgments on it.
That's a good way to do things.
Yeah. I just like, because if I believe it hardcore, I'm going to go crazy. And if I just deny everything, I'm just going to be, it's just totally uninteresting to me. And so like, yeah, I like to observe it and just like sit on it. Cause sometimes like years later, I'll be like, oh, whoa, that thing I heard years ago, that actually lines up with this new thing. Like,
It sounds like me with like my religious faith. Fucking.
yeah. Well, it's just interesting how, as we grow and learn, like we re-experience the same things and they mean different things in new ways.
Yeah, it's like you get older, you might not be at your peak physically, but mentally you're fucking wise.
We can only hope so.
Yeah, right. You just get dumber and weaker as the time goes on. That would suck.
I mean, this is a parabola of some sorts.
Yeah. All right, so you lived with an assassin.
I did.
Now we can get to that shit, dude.
All right. Let's get into it. So, did I ever tell you this story or did I mention it at all?
I think you might have on a drive that we had in the Pacific Northwest.
I think you're right.
But that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, I think I did tell you and Sharky in the car this story.
Yeah, I think
or some abbreviated
we were
form of it.
on somewhere in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. I think going to Bellingham.
Yeah, something like that.
Driving
Yeah.
from Bellingham.
No, because you were late as fuck getting to Bellingham. We were going from Bellingham to...
Oh, no, we were going from Bellingham to Portland.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was such a good show.
God, both of them were great, man.
Oh, both of them were amazing.
God.
That was such
Dude, honestly, like, Pacific Northwest,
I mean, that's where I live now.
yeah, they're kind of king in a way. Like, for shows.
They got energy.
They do.
They love the music.
They do, man. Last time I played Portland, I got on the mic. I was like, your city fucking sucks. You guys are awesome, though.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows Portland sucks, but you're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. Portland's, that scene, dude, they're fucking fun.
Yeah. I love them. Like, they love the music there, and I love the music scene in Portland.
Yeah, it's great. So one of my favorite scenes in the country.
Yeah. I miss that, hopefully the North Warehouse comes back
Dude,
out.
yeah, man. I saw, I've been hearing about that, which
Yeah.
sucks because it's such a sick venue.
It's one of my favorite venues in the country.
And that's what everybody who lives out there, they're like, dude, everyone's like riding for the North Warehouse because like, this is such a sick venue.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm almost certain it'll come back.
Let's hope, man.
Yeah. I have a very strong feeling.
Why wouldn't it do? Like, why wouldn't it?
It will depend on whether the owner still like loves music as much as I know he loves it.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he loves music.
Dude, I fucking partied my ass off with that dude at Shambhala.
I saw him there too.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's kick ass, man.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout out the whole Portland scene, man. Y'all are doing great shit.
And then, I can't wait. I'm going to do the 45 East there on May 3rd, which is 503, which is the area code for
Sick.
Portland.
And New Orleans 504, but yeah, dude, that venue with the walls on the top, so sick.
So Assassin. So this was when I was in college in 2008. And basically, I had one of my friends who was like traveling around the country come to visit, and he brought this man with him who, he slept in our backyard on the cement.
I remember this story a little bit. Yeah.
And we were like, okay, this is odd, but, we're a bunch of really high college students, and we found him particularly interesting, and basically we just fed him joints, peanut butter, and coffee, and that's how he survived. And he told us the most incredible stories for 2 months, then left for several months, then came back and lived with us for another 2 months.
Just outside.
Yeah, I think the second time back around, he slept on a couch inside. I'd kind of created I was going to an art school called Cal Arts, and I created kind of a frat house. Not really. There's no really fraternities at an art school.
I couldn't see you in a frat. Dude, you had an art frat?
Yeah, basically. I found I'm really good at Craigslist.
It's just people who have really good Starbucks points.
Yeah. I'm really good at finding houses on Craigslist to rent. And I found one, and I pulled a bunch of cool people I know together, and we all rented it out. And we'd throw toga parties there, and put a shopping cart in the pool in the backyard, and just cause mayhem.
Just wild. The most wild shit. You wouldn't get it. You had to be there to see it.
We had a grow room. I lived in 3 different rooms in that house over time. I set up a tent in my room, and I slept in a tent.
Nice.
In my room, because I was like, I have my own room. I can do whatever I want.
I did that during lockdown, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking built a fort in my
Yeah.
living room.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was there, and he told us all these stories, and I'm going to tell you what he told us. And basically, me and some of the other people that lived there, we sat down together and we shared all of our stories, and we typed them all out, and we created kind of like his life story. It'll take me like 15, 20 minutes to tell it.
Cool. We got some time, I think.
Yeah. So it starts off in Ireland, and he's 10 years old, and there's a cop beating up his dad in the backyard of their house, and he goes and grabs a gun that's sitting by their back porch, and basically, as a 10-year-old, shoots and kills this cop that's beating up his dad. And that's kind of the beginning of the story. And from there, like, they're like, oh my God, like, he's going to go to juvie. His whole life's ruined. Like, you know, what are we going to do? And so they ship him off to America. He goes and lives in New York City for about 2 months, washing dishes, just at some restaurant, and then goes down to San Antonio, Texas, to live with his uncle on a ranch. And he's grown up on this ranch in San Antonio, and eventually he joins a gang in the area, and he sells drugs and guns with the gang. He tells us about all these crazy ass like parties that they would have at the house, and like lots of he loved to tell the stories of all the girls and how much fun they had there, and just the wild
It's like
amount
back
of
in the
drugs.
day, dude, I used to slay puss. I swear to God.
Yeah, basically. No,
I swear, dude, you had to be there to see it.
as the story goes on, you're gonna. This guy's nuts. It's amazing, and he's got game, even like when he can't speak,
Okay.
which is incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. I witnessed it with my own eyes,
Okay.
and so yeah, he's in this gang. Eventually, he beats up the gang leader, and so he becomes the gang leader, and they end up using a lot of the profits from their drugs and gun sales to make the ghetto that they were living in nicer, and like helping people in the neighborhood because they wanted people on their side.
Pablo Escobar type things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so the police during that time, this is like I think in the 70s, and he was 62 when we met him, and we celebrated his 63rd birthday.
Nice.
He probably looked like he was 80.
Yeah, when you're living a life of drugs and
Oh yeah, we're just getting into it.
and gang pussy, but yeah, continue.
Basically the police noticed that they're like, why is the ghetto looking so nice all of a sudden? And basically they figure out where the gang is and bust them during one of their parties. So this is the time when Vietnam's going on. And so they were given the option to either go to jail or go to Vietnam. And apparently that was a semi-common thing during that era, was to arrest gangs in the U.S. and send them off and train them as platoons because they already got the camaraderie.
My dad had a similar story, man. He got in trouble whenever he was younger, and they're like, you can go to jail or you can join the Marines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's a precedence to this, you
Yep.
know? And so they're like, okay, well, we're not going to jail. Looks like we're going to Vietnam.
Yep.
And then he tells us all these incredible stories about the training that they had to go through. Because they got trained, he got trained as a Marine Corps sniper. And he talked about this place called Sniper Island that's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, that they would train by like living in a tree for a month. And like you have to survive by living in a tree. He'd catch birds and like eat them, or squirrels, you know. Actually, they didn't have squirrels there. They just had birds. It was on an island. But and then he talked about like another training, like where he had to crawl across an open field with snipers, like, and it took him almost a week to crawl across this like multi-mile open field without getting detected. And that's like the kind of training that they're doing. And he used this particular style of shooting called Kentucky Winditch, which I don't know anything about. Have you heard of that?
It sounds like a nasty sex act. You know what I mean? Like an Alabama Hot Pocket, a fucking Kentucky Vintage.
Yeah, Kentucky Winditch. I think it's a shooting style. I think it's a no-scope shooting style. See, I don't know much about guns. My other friends that were living with us. They knew more about guns, so they could tell this part of the story a bit better than I can. But basically, I don't know. I guess there's some controversy.
An adjustment made by a shooter to correct for wind or motion of the target by aiming at a point horizontal to the target position in sight.
This guy knew a lot about the physics of a projectile going out of a barrel. It was kind of crazy. And so, yeah, he was a sniper, and they get sent to Vietnam, and he talks about some of the stories there. He gets shot in the head multiple times. He has to go to the hospital. And so at the art school, we would take him to like art exhibits and parties at the art school. And one of his party tricks he loved to do was like he'd get a magnet and he could stick it on his head. And so we'd because he had a metal plate in his head. And so he loved showing off like the fact that he could stick random metallic stuff to his head.
It's a good pickup line, you know?
You know, like this man was 63, but like he acted like a 17-year-old boy.
Hell yeah.
You know, he was younger than all of us.
Cool.
In spirit.
Yeah, in his heart.
Yeah. And so he's in Vietnam, just horrible stuff. He gets exposed to Agent Orange. He develops cancer. He gets PTSD. He told us that there's some famous picture of Vietnam of a naked girl wearing a bomb vest, and it's like running towards the American soldiers, and he's the person that shot that little girl.
Fuck.
And he said like that memory is burnt into him forever, and that's why he sleeps outside on the concrete. It's because he has night terrors and he doesn't want to disturb anybody. Because he's like, I have nightmares every single night about Vietnam. One of the really interesting things was, he went to the hospital 3 different times for shots to the head. And every single time he said he would see an angel and it would come to him and say, it's not your time yet. You need to go back.
I've heard about like near-death experiences where like people will have like, they'll be saying shit like that. Like, you know, I met some people and they're like, they felt no, I was listening to this guy's story. He died and he felt like no more like jealousy or anger. Everything was just perfect. And he met these like people like these, and he didn't even call them angels, just like these really nice people. And like the head dude, he's like, I'm not gonna call it Jesus or anything, but it was just basically like the boss. And he's like laughing. They're like laughing because they think I'm still here. They think I'm gonna stay. And they're like, it's not your time.
Yeah.
And they dipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, he's like, he wasn't necessarily a religious person, but he was like, whoa, that was very profound for him. And he said his mother has like 5 death certificates from the U.S. Army.
Wow.
From him because of some mix mash. They thought he was dead and he wasn't. Yada yada. And then
damn, after like the 3rd one, you're like, can you just die already?
This guy.
Can you quit putting me through this stress? Is my son dead? I hope so at this point. Fuck.
Yeah, and one of the things, he was on a military base there. And one of the things about him is that when you tell him not to do something, he's going to go and do it.
On a military base.
Just him as a personality. If you tell him not to do something, he's going to go do it.
Okay.
That's just his personality type. And so on the military base, they told him, do whatever you do not go over to this one section of the base. So of course he goes over to that section of the base at night and sneaks over there. And basically, he finds a building full of heroin, just full of heroin. And I think at one point, one of his good friends dies, and he escorts the body bag to the helicopter, and the person loading up the body bags onto the helicopter just kind of like picks up the body bag and just like tosses it on willy-nilly, and he's like, hey, I know he's dead, but can you please show him some respect?
Just heroin in the bag.
And he's like, oh, sorry, I thought it was just full of another bag full of heroin. They open it up, and he's like, oh, it's actually a dead body. My bad. And then, he estimated that each bag, like majority of the body bags going back, were full of about 100 pounds of heroin each. And that it was just common to
What
be
year was this?
Vietnam. I don't know the year.
Kyle, can you look up the street value of heroin around that time
Yeah.
per pound?
Yeah. And so he was saying like, yeah, the military is shipping, they're using it to pay for something, who knows what it is. But he was like, okay, well, that's how they're going to make money. That's how they're going to make money. Didn't think much of it other than that. And then, so yeah, they eventually leave Vietnam. He comes back to America. And now this is sometime in the early 80s. He is still part of the Marine Corps, and he is a part of the coups in South America, where they they take over some of the governments there, and he was part of the teams that assassinated those leaders.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he mentioned some of those things. He also has some really wild, outlandish claims, which are very interesting. He swore that he smoked a blunt on top of the White House with Bill Clinton.
That's the most believable thing out of all this.
And then
Yeah, man. I love getting high.
he also said that he grew weed for the government in a cave in Wyoming. There was like some military property there that they were growing like military grade weed, and he said that they used vitamin D milk
Jesus.
to like boost the plants. Which I asked my fiance, I was like, "Is that a thing?" She's like, "Actually, yeah, there is a thing that like when milk." A certain bacteria can grow that can help it. So she's
Well,
like, "Yeah,
everything
that's
is
legit."
milk, dude. We learned that with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Everything's milk.
Everything is milk. Yeah, dude, Bill Clinton's like, you know what's better than getting high at the White House? Getting your dick sucked. Come on, buddy.
The street value for heroin back during the Vietnam times, they ranged it anywhere. It could be bought anywhere between 15,000 to 80,000 per kilo.
Fuck.
So that's 100 kilo, 100.
How many pounds are in a kilo, Kyle?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Because he said 100 pounds per bag, which I did not remember that detail.
Is a kilo 3.5, or is that just like a meter to y'all?
That was a story that was told to someone else I live
2.2.
with.
2.2.
Yeah. 2.2 pounds is a kilo.
Do you want to do the math on what one body bag?
We'll just say it's a fuck ton, dude. We don't have to spend time on it.
But anyways, so he's back in America. He's growing weed. He's doing these coups. Just an average life.
Yeah, dude.
And then he also says that he helps he's part of a military escort from Nevada to Ohio, where they have like a back highway that's reserved for the military through America. And like they're in a convoy going through these back highways. And basically at some point the chopper escort has to go back and refill and then come back before they can move on. So they wait in this area. And he was told, whatever you do, don't look in the back of the truck that you're driving. So, of course, he goes and looks in the back of the truck when no one else is paying attention during this wait period. And he sees a UFO flying saucer up on its side in the back of this 18-wheeler. And he was never interested in aliens, never believed in them. But when he saw it himself, he was like,
Wait, do 18-wheelers have windows like that?
No. He opened up the door.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because it's like, it's a blackout. He went and opened up the door, looked in. And he was like, yeah, there's a UFO up on its side in this 18-wheeler. And they were delivering it from somewhere in Nevada to
Ohio?
to Dayton, Ohio.
Why Ohio, dude?
There's a military base there. I think another detail in the story that we wrote down is that base has this place called the Blue Room. I don't know what that means, but if anyone wants to go look up the Blue Room and military base there. He also talked about how one of his daughters she's a paraplegic lesbian that owned a coffee shop in Dayton, Ohio. And so he was like, oh, I get to go see my daughter, which he loves so much.
The Blue Room is akin to Hangar 18, which is a legendary alien warehouse.
All right, there you go. And so, yeah, he transports this UFO, another incredible claim. And then around this time, I'm trying to remember all the details. I think at some point he leaves the military, either in the early 90s. I think in the early 90s, he leaves the military, and basically he doesn't know what to do with himself because his whole life is about killing. And so he becomes an assassin for rich families. And he,
What, like the Clintons?
at least he didn't say that, but he did mention some specific names, which I won't mention. But they said that most of his clients were in mega mansions in Montana.
Let me ask you this. I remember the Montana story, but the a lot of that's new. You shared a little bit, but I remember some of this. If somebody was doing all this like high value targets, being an assassin, also being a sniper, snipers get paid more than most people in the Marines. Also, maybe being a special agent to go to South America and help these coups, or being in maybe an undocumented part of the military where you're transporting UFOs. Wouldn't somebody like that have like a fuck ton of money saved up?
Yes, he mentioned it, that it's buried underneath a river somewhere in South Carolina.
Bro, what?
Yeah,
I did the math earlier too. It's about $900,000 per body bag.
Fuck me, dry. What? What?
yeah,
It's buried?
yeah.
What an idiot. He
Well, it'll make sense when the story goes on.
Continue then.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he's an assassin for these rich families. The one thing he says is that I never kill Americans or Irish people. And he was like,
At least he's got
that's
a
my
code.
law.
Yeah, at least he's got a code.
And so, when we were living with him, we were like, are we safe?
You're an American, dude.
And we were like, we're all Americans. Okay, we're good.
Who do the Irish hate? I don't know. Who do the Irish not get along with?
Oh, we actually talked about this before.
The English?
I believe so.
Yeah. Oh, no one gets along with the English.
Yeah. Well, I think the Irish, there's a long history of war between them. And
Someone walks into chat, well, hello, and you're like, oh shit.
But one of the details was that he would have a checklist for each target, and one of the interesting things on that checklist was TV time or no TV time. And so if you killed someone before 8 p.m., it would make it on that day's news if you wanted to send a message. But if you wanted to delay the killing as long as possible, you kill them after 8 p.m. so it'd show up on the next day's news. And that was like a hyper weird specific thing that he told us about.
Fuck.
And then basically, yeah, he also said that he never used poison because it would never, you'd never for sure kill somebody with poison. They could always survive. And then these are details I don't remember. This is from my friends asking him these questions that lived with us and him at that time. They asked him, did you ever behead anyone? And he said, only to make it look like the Saudis did it. Now, okay.
Damn.
I didn't hear that story, but
That's kind of fucking cold, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's an assassin.
You're like,
that's his job.
You're like, did you ever leave a bottle of vodka laying around? You're like, only if I wanted to make it look like the Russians did it.
That was his response, apparently. And then, so at some point, I think one of his targets that he is going after ends up being an Irish American. And he basically walks into this dude's house and he's like, I've been sent here to kill you. You need to leave the country tonight. And he basically leaves. And then he goes back to, his client and was like, hey, fuck you. And then basically he's like, I quit. And at that point, he's like, I know too much. He's like, I need to go into hiding now. And he basically chooses then to become homeless. And he wanders around. I think around this time, he also encounters some spiritual guru of some sorts for him. That he talked about this guy as kind of reshifting his whole life after he had met this dude. And he started practicing meditation after meeting this guy, and he talked about seeing his guru kind of like do some supernatural kinds of things that like really shook him to his core, and was like, I need to give up killing. And so he said in 1996, he said he swore off killing. And then that's around the time when he became homeless as well. And he basically traveled around America homeless until he ran into my friend, as my friend was like, going around the country, because my friend had broken down on the side of the road in either Arizona or New Mexico, and Ghost. The guy's name is Ghost. That was his
Sick name.
That was his nickname. He has a real name. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, don't do it.
But he does. His nickname was Ghost, and so he met my friend and helped him repair his car. And basically, they became really good friends, and they traveled around the U.S. pulling this stunt where they would go to police stations and say, "Hey, like I have a job interview tomorrow, but I've run out of gas. Can you give me a gas voucher to get to my job interview in the next town over tomorrow?" And they would give him a gas voucher, and they'd pull this stunt and travel around America.
Is that still a thing?
I have no
I was
idea.
going to say, we need to do that while we're on tour.
Yeah, basically he taught my friend how to live for free and travel America. And that's what my friend was really interested in at that time. So it's kind of an interesting alignment. And then they came out and visited me. And that's where the story makes, kind of a full circle kind of moment. And I remember asking him, because like we became pretty close. Like he listened to a lot of my music, and he's like, just please keep making music. Please keep creating art. He's like, I can't hear the high end, but I can feel the low end. And it's just like, that's good for the world. Keep making music. And then I also asked him, do you regret anything in your life? And he said, the only thing I regret is killing the cop that beat up my dad.
That sent him on this entire path.
He's like, I could have maybe lived a normal life if I hadn't have done that. But I chose to do that, and I accept all of my actions after that.
Fuck, man.
Right? And then to wrap up the whole story, he after he left the second time, we learned that he had a stroke. And so we went and visited him in a hospital in San Luis Obispo, California. And he couldn't speak anymore. And we were there, and we were just like, we thought he was going to die, and saying we love him. And then we go back, and then I think like maybe 4 or 5 months later, he's in like a nursing home, and we go and visit him again there. And he can't speak, and he's in a wheelchair. But oh my God, the nurses at the nursing home there
Smoking
love
hot.
him. Love him.
Hell yeah.
They were like seeing just like these good looking nurses flirting with a man that can't speak.
Damn, he still had game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could barely speak. He could say some words, but he really struggled, But like, oh my God, the nurses like, he's the best, like they loved him. It was so mind blowing because he is a wrinkly, like
egg.
Yeah. Like he was so wrinkly, and like, just like he had lived so many lives.
Yeah.
Seen so much. And eventually he did pass away in that nursing home. And my friend who had traveled with him sent me his obituary. And so it was like this full kind of circle moment for us. And years later, I went to a Burning Man party in LA, near downtown LA. It was like this artistic warehouse where a bunch of like Burning Man camps like would build their projects before going off to Burning Man. And it was near this place called the Brewery in LA. And I happened to overhear someone say, "Oh, I was a sniper in the Marine Corps," or "I am a sniper in the Marine Corps." And I walk up to him. I'm like, "Oh, I heard you're a sniper in the Marine Corps." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like this, like 6'4" dude, like big, muscly, short cut, I thought it was funny that he's at a Burning Man party, but he's there. And I was like, oh, I knew someone in the Marine Corps. His name was Ghost. And this man just jumped back. He's like, how do you know about the Ghost? And I was like, I lived with him. And he was like, he's got the most kills on record. He wrote the sniper handbook that we all read. And I was like, oh yeah, he was really funny. Like he was like a little boy, you know, like, and he was just super fun and goofy. And like this guy was like, I can't handle this conversation right now, and just like walks off because he had like built up in his mind. He'd never met this guy.
And he's just the hardest motherfucker.
Yeah. And to learn that he's like a goofy, like fun loving guy, it just like, he couldn't, the realities, it was too much for him.
Let me ask you this, man, because like all these stories are amazing. And like, there's a big part of me that wants them to be true.
Yeah.
Other than that guy that you met who said he heard about Ghost, which could be a pretty common name for a sniper, what made you believe this guy? Or do you even? Because could it just be some fucking like crazy homeless dude out?
It's really good at telling stories.
Yeah, listen, a good story's great.
We had considered that.
Yeah.
I think it was his knowledge of physics that convinced my other friends. And then their convincing convinced me.
Gotcha.
I'm just, again, I just sort of observe and listen.
Yeah.
I don't try to believe one thing or another. But I just wanted to, his stories were incredible. So
great stories.
We just kept on feeding him weed and peanut butter and coffee, and he just kept telling us stories.
Bro, if anybody listening to this podcast wants to be a fucking filmmaker,
yeah. Please make this story.
This is an amazing story.
It's so incredible.
It's a fucking good show. You can pitch to Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah, hit me up. I literally wrote it out.
You better sell that story, dude. That's not even your story.
I know, but yeah, it's such an incredible story, and I have no way of telling if it's true or not. But there are so many small, specific details that it would be very hard to make that stuff up. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but you could see it in his eyes,
right? And something wouldn't add up at some point.
Because like he did not tell us this story in chronological order, you know. Like this, I just told you everything his life in chronological order, sort of. You know, this is just random stories he's telling us, and then like after he's dead, all of the friends that lived in that place with him that heard all the different stories, we sat down together and we're like, let's tell each other all the stories that we heard. And then I put them in chronological order.
Fuck, man. It's a hell of a story.
And that is how I lived with with an assassin.
Does this guy look familiar at all?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Wait. No, that's definitely not him.
Okay.
I know his real name. I don't want to say it right now.
Yeah, don't do it, dude. They might hunt you down for information.
Yeah. No, yeah, there are ways that you could easily find his family and whatnot and ask questions, which would be very interesting. But I don't know. That's not my life path.
Yeah,
someone else has got to do that.
Yeah, we had some fan questions. I mean, that insane,
right?
Absolutely insane.
One of the craziest. I mean, I've got other crazy stories.
Might be the craziest story on this podcast maybe ever. You said you got crazier stories
of my personal life.
Okay, got you. We'll save that for another episode.
Yeah.
I have another podcast about to happen in a couple minutes. Let's pause for a second. And we're back. I had to make sure that I have stylists coming on right after this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be here at 1:30. It was more like 2:40, but it's all right.
Yeah, we're all good.
Yes, I don't know whose fault that is, but
it's the way of time. It's all good.
It's Obama's fault.
Everything is,
dude. Well, fuck, man. I love you.
I love you too, bro.
I hate we weren't able to get to the fan questions, but we'll leave it on the highest note possible with the craziest story that's been told.
I hope y'all enjoy it. Let me know. Leave comments. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I want to know. People, is this bullshit?
Right?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Right.
I just heard so many stories. I lived it, you know. I saw his eyes. I
Felt him.
I you know, had some amazing, hilarious, like just moments with him.
Yeah.
I do have one video clip of him that we found. He did not like being videoed or photos, but we do have one video clip of him that he stepped into a camera on accident and was acting all goofy in an art exhibit. But yeah, long hair, big scruffy bush, you know, looked like
He had a big
veteran.
bush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big bushy man.
Big bushy man.
Yeah, but that is the story of the ghost.
Hell yeah, man. Well, Chris, I love you, man.
All right, well, I'm off to the show.
Well, no, I love you.
I love you too, bro.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, I mean, you already know that.
Yeah, no, you're literally one of my favorite people, not just in the music industry, but on this planet.
Thank you, bro.
Every time I hear your name or talk about you, it's just love in my heart, I feel.
I love you too, and I love everyone out there.
Yeah, anything you want to let the people know before you get out of here?
Go see me on tour, Brain Tickler Tour. I'm going all sorts of cities. You can go to my website, aheebase.com, to get tickets, and then you can also get all my Ableton racks and stuff there, and sign up for the Volume 6 release.
Hell yeah. And also come see us April 13th at Town Ballroom.
You heard the man.
Hell yeah. Chris, I love you, man.
you
Thank you
too.
for coming here, man. I'm excited for about tonight. Kyle, love you, appreciate you.
Love you, buddy.
Thank you, Kyle.
And I appreciate everybody listening to this week's episode of Talks with Taboo. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace, Amis.